Hello and welcome to Liberty Wolf episode number 40. My name is Zach Strong. In the description, you'll find information about me, where you can find my books, my websites, all that good stuff. Today, I don't have a lot of time, so we're going to get right into it. I'm talking about Russia again. I mean, that's in the news every day, everywhere. But there are a lot of lies I see, especially in the circles I run in. Us conspiracy theorists. I keep saying all sorts of things that are justifying Putin's invasion. And these are logical fallacies that are being used. And if you follow them through to their conclusion, it would be bedlam and bloodshed and just total warfare everywhere on Earth. So let's talk about a couple of these. The biggest one that I keep seeing over and over and over again is that, oh no, the West has corrupt dealings in Ukraine. The Bidens, Hunter Biden, he got billions of dollars from Ukraine. Obama, he did all sorts of stuff, hobnobbing with all sorts of people over there. George Soros has put money in there. Oh no, the State Department, they have an interest in Ukraine. Oh no, there were U.S. bioweapons labs over there. Western corruption is everywhere in Ukraine. So yeah, go in there, Putin, wipe out this hornet net of devils. I keep seeing stuff like that. It's like, oh, the Ukrainians are all corrupt. They're in bed with the West and the United States and NATO. So, rah, rah, Putin, go in there. Wipe them all out. Cleanse that country. Liberate them. That's what Putin's saying. I'm here as a liberator. Well, here's the thing about this. Some of that's true. What I just said, actually, all those things I just said are true. However, let's follow the logic. Should we apply this in all cases? To be equal and fair, right? Should the same principle be fairly applied? And if it was, what would happen? Well, I just spent a couple minutes of my life, not long, writing down a couple notes here. So I'm going to read them very quickly. 1. Let's flip the script. It is undeniable that Russia has poured vast amounts of money into subversive operations here in the United States. Soviet Russia, and some of these have continued on under the Russian Federation. Soviet Russia funded the LGBT movement. See Harry Hay. They have imported abortion on demand and no-fault divorce into the United States. Those two institutions of evil were founded in Russia in modern times, and they were imported here. They have instituted political correctness. See the Frankfurt School of Communists. They started the sexual revolution with the hippies. They co-opted the civil rights movement and Black Lives Matter, and the founders of Black Lives Matter have admitted we are trained Marxists. And they've attempted over and over and over to start race wars. They funded mass protests and especially anti-war movements and riots, especially during the Vietnam War. They organized riots in general about all sorts of things, including at Kent State. The Kent State massacre. I have an article down below. Go look at it. It talks about the truth of that. This was a bunch of communists on walkie-talkies pushing people towards the National Guardsmen. There was a sniper from their side that shot. This was a communist operation. Okay, they've assassinated Americans. They've blackmailed politicians. They've spied and stolen sensitive secrets, including the A-bomb, among many others. They've hit us with cyber attacks. They've carried out terrorist attacks, literal bombings. Remember the Weather Underground? And the bombings they did? Go look them up. They've pushed eco-terrorism, and the whole environmental green movement, which was founded on Lenin's birthday, was funded out of Moscow. And of course, they have other money, the Rockefellers and others, to do things too. They've plotted genocide. See Larry Grathwohl. They put nuclear missiles on Cuba. The Cuban Missile Crisis? Putin says, well, what would America do if we had weapons right next to your border? You do, Russia. Russian defectors have said the Soviets never took them out after the Cuban Missile Crisis. They're still there. They still have people all throughout the Americas. They flood drugs across the southern border and operatives and all sorts of devious things across the southern border there. Okay, they patrol the Gulf of Mexico with nuclear submarines. There's all sorts of defectors who have come forth, even after the so-called fall of the Soviet Union, which was total political theater, and have said that their operatives are still here spying, still doing propaganda and disinformation operations here, etc., etc., etc. Okay, so if you look at all these things that Russia has done to us, and also Europe and all over the world. Remember the Communist International, the Comintern? This was to fund revolutions in the whole world, in every country. Literally the goal. That was Russia. Okay, so if Russia is justified in invading Ukraine because of some U.S. NATO-funded corruption, which does exist, then how much more justified are we in invading and bombing and nuking and whatever else Russia? Right? Use your logic, guys. If it's fair for them, it's fair for us. It's good for the goose, it's good for the gander. Now, I don't support war in either case. I'm very in favor of non-intervention. But you have to be logical, you have to be fair, you have to equally apply these principles. If it is okay for Putin to say, I'm liberating Ukraine because they're corrupt and they're a den of rascals and thieves, then it is more than enough for us to say the same about Russia and all the horrid things they've done to the United States over the years, and all the plots they've had against us, and China too, and all these other communist countries. We could say Putin assassinates his opposition, jails his opposition, murders dissidents. He has carried out false flag bombings of apartments to start wars in Chechnya. Okay, he's done all sorts of horrendous things, invaded Georgia and set up puppet regimes there. He's done all sorts of things like that, including 2 invasions of Ukraine now. So he's a wicked man. He's a communist. Should we go and take him out? It's the same logic. So I'm going to end here. Just think about it. When you see these emotional knee-jerk reactions and things being spewed around here and arguments, think about them. They're usually not logical. Sic semper tyrannis. Long live liberty.